creation of the American Republic was an incredibly experimental process, and most of the founding fathers either disagreed about what it should look like or didn't know entirely what it would look like or function like. Most of their ideas came from existing European political documents or political and economic theory from the Enlightenment in the 15th, 16th, 17th centuries. The first major idea that they drew from was the rights of the governed people. This came from the Magna Carta, written in 1215, and it basically stated that there are certain inalienable rights, as was redefined in the Declaration, of the people under any governmental authority. The rights discussed in the Magna Carta were freedom of the church to practice without interference from the government, rights to private property and passing it on to one's family, and things like this. If they sound familiar, it's because that's largely what went into the American Bill of Rights several hundred years later. The second big idea that the Founding Fathers drew from was the consent of the governed people. This came from John Locke and the English Bill of Rights. And John Locke stated that at any time the governed people hold all the authority in the relationship between the government and the governed. He said that if they disagree with what the government is doing, they could throw a bloody revolution and put a new government in power. He obviously wasn't an advocate for this process, and neither were the Founding Fathers, who had just fought one of these wars and didn't want to see another one happen for many, many years. How this translates into the American system is the voting process and the fact that we do not have leaders that, lead for life. And at the 4-year point, if the people no longer give their consent to be governed in the way things have been running, they can vote a different politician, a different party, a different set of ideas into office. And the third idea that we're going to talk about today is the limitations on the authority of the government. Most of this philosophy came from Baron de Montesquieu in France, and the French people were very, very afraid of a power-hungry government because of Louis XVI overstepping his bounds, and this leading to the French Revolution. Montesquieu believed that no one man should need be afraid of another, and that one person in the government should not hold centralized authority. In the United States, we dealt with this problem by separating the government into 3 branches in the first 3 articles of the Constitution. The first of which being the legislative branch, then the executive and judicial. One branch writes laws into being, but not without the go-ahead of the other 2. One decides whether or not it's legal, and the third enforces. This successfully separated the U.S. from existing monarchies by dispersing power and giving it back to the people. Once you understand these 3 ideas on a historical level and you understand them well and where they came from, you can get a better picture of why America looks the way it does today. Thank you very much.